You inspire us every time with this beautiful environment. Let's mention again, we're in Porto Rafti, the Kalos Geolos area. It's a very beautiful, sunny day. In early October.
Look, Greece is light. And we are in the land of light. We have the light, the sea, and the sky. They all come together as one. And I'm very happy to be with you today, and especially here at this spot.
So, let's now move on to discuss an important medical topic. You have very deep and extensive knowledge and expertise when it comes to the subject of diabetes. You've done a significant amount of research, and you've dedicated many years of your professional life to understanding this disease. To start off, we'd like you to tell us, in your own words, what exactly diabetes is. There are two main types of diabetes, is that correct?
Look, basically, the two diseases are completely different. There's the first one, type 1, as it's called in English, or type 1, which usually occurs in young children, and it develops when they get sick with a virus. Often, the virus attacks the pancreas. The body has a reaction, and the cells in the pancreas that produce insulin are destroyed. And we need insulin to nourish the body's cells. Insulin carries substances, especially glucose, into the cells so that a person's cells can function. Until 1925, I believe, there was no treatment. There at the university where I was, at McGill, a researcher managed to extract insulin from the pancreas of animals. And he gave it to Banting and Best, who won the Nobel Prize in Toronto. And they gave it to a dog at first, and then to a child. And fortunately, we have this treatment now, because a person cannot survive if they lack insulin. They can only stay alive for 2 or 3 days. After that, the cells can't continue to function without insulin, especially the brain.
You conducted a major and comprehensive study on this topic, and at the experimental stage, it actually went very well overall. And this important research specifically concerned the regeneration of the pancreas cells.
Yes, it was a surgeon at the hospital where I worked who had found a protein in the pancreas that, in animals, increased this. And we worked on it for 10 years. But right now, I also have my son, McGill Tsoukas, who is quite well known in his field, because they are currently working on a different system, specifically an electronic system, which is essentially a machine that automatically measures the glucose levels in the blood. In the blood, measures it, and automatically delivers the insulin that's needed. In English, this is called an artificial pancreas, and I think that this is how this science will advance. Another important development in diabetes is that we found a way to measure sugar. Until about 30 years ago, there was no way, unless you took a blood sample and sent it for analysis. Now we know, and there are various monitors that you place on the skin, and it tells you your sugar level at any moment. And it tells you exactly what to do if you experience hypoglycemia. Because these children who take insulin, if they don't eat properly or exercise, their sugar drops a lot and they become hypoglycemic. That's the first of the two types. The second type is when there is insulin resistance, which typically occurs in people who are overweight or obese, or in those who have a genetic problem inherited from their parents. It means that this condition can actually be passed down from parents to their children. But it's usually those who don't eat properly and are obese. And we're now seeing a huge epidemic in the United States. I don't know if it's the same in Australia, where in the past, we didn't see this disease in young people before age 20 or 25. Now, we see not only the disease, but also its complications. If you have diabetes for over 10 years, it affects the eyes, the heart, can damage the kidneys, cause neuropathies. Many complications arise from this disease.
How important, really, is diet in preventing this particular medical condition?
Look, Christopher Columbus also brought sugarcane in 1493, I believe. We didn't know it was harmful. And since then, it took us centuries to understand. And there are many researchers right now who are saying that sugar is more harmful than smoking. So, it's not right to eat sweets. That is, anything that contains sugar. Now, sugar is also found in fruit. We should eat those fruits in moderation. One can't eat 10 figs a day. When you exercise, muscles use sugar. Sugar drops mainly. If you take 100 to 200 steps, sugar drops. We recommend this to all procedures. But the top is to maintain one's weight because obesity causes resistance to insulin. And when there is resistance to insulin, it harms the cells of the pancreas. It marks them, and slowly over time they wither and die. And eventually something similar to deep welling happens. There are no cells in the pancreas. Children who are usually young and who learn that they have diabetes need psychological support. It's like water, that is, you have to think at every moment what you will eat, what you will not eat. But fortunately now, with all the means we have, we can also deal with many of these feet. Let's not forget that the amount of the population is huge. Who has diabetes? Various measurements have been made in various countries. It is about 24% of the population, and most 50% of them do not know it. We are talking about millions and millions of people whose lives will be significantly affected later if they do not understand that they have sugar, and if they do not take the discarded treatments, diets, there is.
Do you believe that it truly plays a significant and important role to provide ongoing psychological and emotional support to the family members, especially to those families who have children and who are currently dealing with and facing the challenges of this disease?
Yes, and I think in more centers around the world there is this support. They have some online centers where children go. They talk to psychologists, they talk to nurses, to doctors, and usually now with them. There is a way to connect with people who can help you at any time. In this disease. Now, people are getting more alienated, especially with the internet, Instagram, TikTok. I think people online are starting to understand. There are also huge efforts in Canada, not so much in the US, but in Canada there is a big effort to reduce diabetes, but there is a problem. The youth now, first, don't know how to cook, and second, they go into the so-called spectrums. I'm a member of the American Heart Association, and about 20 years ago we sued McDonald's. We said the government should shut down McDonald's. It went through various stages of the court system, and everyone said yes, because these fast food restaurants are bad for you. They're bad for kids and adults. But finally the president of the United Heart Association said he can't. That we can't sue a food company. Companies that make food, and so on. This is the issue, and this is why parents need to watch their children, what they eat, what foods they eat, and especially at home.
Interesting information. We thank you very much for the update. We wish you all the best, and we'll see you on the next show.